Hi, my name is Betty Buckley, and I was very blessed to get to play Grisabella in the original Broadway production of Cats. And so I'm very delighted to welcome you to our broadcast, our evening, our appeal to you to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. This is an event we're calling Cats for Kamala. I'm one of the original cat ladies who I'm a single person. I've never had any kids, but I've taught a lot of people and I've helped a lot of animals. And I live on a ranch in Texas. And I remember a time living in the United States of America when we all cared about our neighbors. And I think people still do. People still care about one another, regardless of race, color, or creed, or gender. People care, and that's what it means to be human and humane. This is a very important time in the evolution of our country. Our democracy literally is at threat. I'm very, very concerned about women's rights. I'm really concerned about racial discrimination, LGBTQ rights, and I'm very concerned that we stop Project 2025. This is a very serious time, and there's so much to talk about. I'm pretty overwhelmed at addressing any one subject because there's just so much. And in Kamala Harris and her VP candidate, Tim Walz, we have wonderful people who are human beings and who have humane concerns. So please vote for them. It's important. Our country, the soul of our country, depends on it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bryan Batt, and I played Munkustrap on Broadway in Cats in the early 90s, and I had a great time. I look back at that time and see how much has changed. Some for the better, and some not for the better. We're faced right now with a major decision. I know everyone says every election this is the most important one. Well, this one is, and we have to do everything in our power to make sure that Kamala wins, because she believes in democracy. She believes in the rule of law. She believes in equality. All these factors that make this country great. The other side wants to bring in fascism, a dictator, and controlling people. Supposedly the old Republican Party was less government, less control. Well, it's flipped over. It's all about control. And I don't think anyone has the right to tell anyone what they can do with their body. So, vote for Kamala, help raise money for Kamala, and, let the memory live again.
Hi, my name is Austin Jetton, and I played the role of Old Deuteronomy in Cats National 3 and National 4. What concerns me most about this election is the voting rights that we have. I want to read something to you. Voting Rights Act of 1965. White men age 21 and older who owned property were given the right to vote in 1776. The 15th Amendment to the Constitution removed racial barriers to voting in 1870, but states continued to practice voter discrimination and continued to deny Black voters the chance to participate in elections. The right to vote was extended to white women in 1920. It wasn't until 1965, after years of intimidations, murder, and advocacy, that the path to the voting booth was cleared for Black people with the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965. So you see, every single American, every single citizen now has the right to vote. It is your voice. Make it count. Not going back. Please vote.
Hello there, my name is Donna King, and I played Bombalurina in the original Broadway production of Cats, the musical. Shortly thereafter, I moved to England, where I've been living for the past 40 years now. So I suppose what I would have to offer is the fact that I have a slightly different point of view. And my main thought when I hear about what we're talking about in regards to electing Kamala Harris is the fact that we need to stand up for each other. We need to stand up for democracy. The United States was a huge beacon for democracy all throughout the 20th century and means so much to the world what America does, because America leads in so many ways. So if we vote for a fascistic government, it's going to really change things badly, I'm afraid. I firmly believe that we have to stand up for Kamala Harris because she believes in equal rights for all peoples, no matter what color, no matter what sexual orientation, and especially for women, because there is so much at stake with our rights for our daughters and our mothers and our granddaughters and our friends insofar as health and safety and just having equal rights and power to live on this planet together. It's hugely important that we go forward with this and not go backwards and try to propel ourselves into some fantasy from Leave It to Beaverland, because it's not happening anymore. We have to go forwards. Please vote for Kamala Harris for 2024. The world is watching and hoping and praying. I'm not kidding. Thank you so much.
Hey, my name is James Rocco. I was the Rum Tum Tugger in Cats on Broadway. And I'm here to tell you that Kamala Harris has completely won me over. She's articulate and smart and a firm believer of something that I feel very strongly about, and that is equal rights for all people here in the United States. I also think it would be wonderful to finally have a female president. Thank you, Kamala Harris, for running.
Hi, I'm Deborah Geneviere. I played Demeter on the national tour. And I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president because I want an economy that can work for all of us. Just look at the contrast. While Trump is talking about tax cuts for billionaires and large corporations, Kamala is talking about building an opportunity economy, one that can work for the middle class, starting with a tax credit for small businesses so that they can open up and thrive. And as we all know, small business is the backbone of any community across this country. Now, Trump is looking to impose a 60% tariff on goods imported from China so that he could stick it to the Chinese government. Well, in reality, you know who's going to pay for those tariffs? You, the American consumer. Top economists are already saying that the Trump tariffs would be disastrous for our economy, and it will cost American families an average of $4,000 more a year. And finally, the Trump playbook, Project 2025, will eliminate Social Security and Medicare. Now just imagine how that will impact your own retirement years. Instead, Kamala will protect Social Security and Medicare. So I hope that you'll see the choice is clear. Kamala Harris has solutions for the middle class, starting with a federal ban on price gouging on groceries and lowering the cost of prescriptions. Look, Kamala Harris understands that when the middle class succeeds, America succeeds. So I hope that you'll join me in casting your vote for Kamala Harris for president. And if you can, please consider making a donation to the Harris Walz campaign by using the QR code provided in this program. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, don't forget to get out there and vote.
America's got a choice to make between a man who has vowed to abolish the National Endowment for the Arts and a leader who will invest in the arts, who recognizes that arts and culture are the heart and soul of our country. Furthermore, that arts and culture are a major economic driver in our country, employing millions and millions of Americans and generating billions and billions of dollars in economic benefit every year. That's Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and it's up to us to ensure that they get elected in November. So between now and November, the arts community has got to mobilize in a way that it never has before, hitting the doors, hitting the phones, hitting the streets, because everything's on the line. Our careers are on the line, our livelihoods are on the line, everything we care about. And I know that we will prevail if we do the work, because when we have truth on our side and when we have right on our side and when we fight, we always win.
Hi, I'm Kris Longwell, and I played Tumble Brutus in the Hamburg, Germany production. That was such an amazing time. I consider it one of the highlights of my career as a performer. It was CATS, we were doing CATS, and the production itself was just stellar. It was a really unique experience for so many of us. It was a very, very diverse cast. We were really international from all over. There were cast members from the States, from Canada, Germany, the UK, Russia, the Netherlands, Australia, and just really all over. And everyone brought their own perspective to the show from their own walks of life. But we all had one goal in mind, and that was to be the very best that we could, and to do the best production of Cats in the world, and to support each other. It was really, I think, that dynamic is what made that show so special. Kamala Harris has said many times that our differences do not divide us. They are an essential source of our strength. And that really resonates with me. And it makes me think back in that production and how we worked together. Even though we had different differences, we were a unit and we made each other better. I am a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and honestly, my husband Wesley and I are terrified at the thought of a possible second Trump term in Project 2025 and what that could mean directly to our lives and to so many other American lives. It's for that reason and a litany of other reasons that I am fully supporting a Harris-Walz ticket. I believe that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz understand what's necessary to keep our country moving forward and not backwards. So please, if you can, make a donation. There's no donation too small. It will make a difference, a big difference. Let's take what Joe and Kamala have already laid out for us and let's keep moving forward, not back, now and forever. A QR code has been provided to you so you can make a direct contribution to the Harris Victory Fund. 100% of the proceeds will go to the campaign. Just please make sure you read the contribution rules first.
Are you exhausted? Hi. My name is Kari Longwell. I was a swing in the National 3 tour of Cats an embarrassingly long time ago. really, are you exhausted too? The barrage of hateful, fearful rhetoric is just laying me low. I want you to imagine that a presidential candidate said that aliens have taken over the government and put invisible chips in the brains of everyone working within that government so that they oppose that candidate's agenda, or they're intentionally mismanaging the government and driving it into the ground. Now imagine the news media amplifying that statement over and over and over again to the point where you just go, well, maybe it's true. How is that so different from what we're living through right now? Kamala Harris isn't trying to frighten you. She doesn't try to spin anything. She doesn't sensationalize. She wants your trust. She and Tim Walz are working for the American middle class. I went to their website to find out exactly what she's about. And it's all about small businesses, small entrepreneurs, middle income people, and trying to lift them up. You should read it. So if you want to stop this clown car on the misinformation highway, then it's time to support the Harris-Walz ticket with your donation. It takes buckets of money to win an election in 2024. It's a reality. So you've got to click on the QR code, read the contribution rules, and give what you can. So you're going to donate, you're going to vote. That little four-letter word that has so much power, it's your power. So, I will see you in November, so we don't lose to a big buffoon. Vote.
Good evening. My name is Kari Nicolaisen, and I was Rumpelteazer in the 3rd National Company of Cats. Tonight I'd like to speak to you about something that's very important to me and my family, and that is truth and trust. I was raised in a family that telling the truth was extremely important. I'm raising my kids the same way, and when I was growing up, if I lied to my parents, there would be consequences. And the most important one was they lost trust in me. And you kind of can't get that back, you know, that's a tough one. Well, as we've seen over the years, Donald Trump has no respect for either trust or the truth. He tells lies freely and often and seems completely unconcerned with the violence, divisions, and chaos left in his wake. Now, I know that a lot of us are concerned that we don't know enough about Kamala Harris, but I think we know enough about Donald Trump to know that he is not the right person to be the president of the United States. My dog agrees. Yes, he is incredibly dangerous, and to put him in a position of power, the most powerful position probably in the world, is just completely reckless by Americans to do that. So please, come November, get out, vote, and vote for the only viable candidate, the only person in the position right now to get us out of this downward spiral that our country is in, this crazy mess that's happening. And that is to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you so much, and peace.
Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator?
Hi, my name is Linden Waddell, and I played Jelly Lorem Griddlebone in the Los Angeles sit-down production of Cats. And what concerns me most are the economy and women's reproductive rights. The Harris Walz team has a plan to support small businesses and to invest in entrepreneurs. We all know that small businesses are the engines of our economy, and when the middle class is strong, America is strong. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz support an opportunity economy, not just to get by, but to get ahead. Trump's plans hurt everyone except the richest Americans, with incentives only for the most wealthy. Are you in that group? I'm not. I want the common sense plans that the Harris Walz team will put into place, especially championing women-owned and minority-owned businesses. Now that's a new way forward. Let's talk about my body. No, let's not. It's none of your business. See, Vice President Harris and Governor Walz understand and trust women to make their own decisions about their own bodies without the government telling them what to do. With your support, we will win. Then together we can say, look, a new day has begun. A QR code is provided for you to make a direct contribution to the Harris Victory Fund. 100% of the proceeds go directly to the campaign. Please make sure you read the contribution rules. Vote your rights. Vote for your values. Your vote counts.
You're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
That sounds to me like you're going back to the policies.
Hey there. My name is Matt Zarley, and I was Pouncival in the Third National Company of Cats. You know, a lot of things are concerning me this election, but I think there's one thing that probably has the most concern for me, and that would be Project 2025. Here's a little bit of a rundown for you. Project 2025 was created by the Heritage Foundation, which is a group that has the objective of promoting conservative and right-wing policies in our government. So they intend to let go of 140,000 or so federal civil workers and replacing them with people that are Trump loyalists. And those loyalists will have to take an oath to Trump, not the Constitution. What? They intend to take partisan control of the FBI, the DOJ, the FTC, the FCC, and they also intend to dismantle the Department of Homeland Security, reducing environmental and climate change regulations. So they basically want to roll back all the regulations we have that are protecting our environment and reinstating old policies that favor fossil fuels. You know, just 'cause. They recommend demolishing the Department of Education, instead replacing that with the Department of Family Values. What? Oh, and also the National Institutes of Health would be made less independent. Not good. It's very likely that they will initiate a national abortion ban. There are several states in this country that have outlawed abortion completely with no exceptions. Women have died because of this. It's hard to believe that we're living in this society today. Those are just a few of the examples that Project 2025 would implement if Trump is elected. You know, I find it really comical that Trump loves to say he doesn't know anything about Project 2025 or any of the people that are associated with it. Funny, because that's not what he said 2 years ago at the Heritage Foundation dinner, where he was the keynote speaker. Check it out.
Our country is going to hell. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America, and that's coming.
I mean, really? You know, I think regardless of your ideology or whatever your political beliefs are, I think this election is different. our votes are even more important this time around. I think our country depends on it. Oh, I almost forgot. Scan the QR code if you'd like to donate to the Kamala Harris Tim Walz campaign. Now, 100% of all donations that you make will go directly to them. There's no middleman here. Stay healthy and safe, and we'll see you on Election Day. Peace.
Hi everyone, my name is Randy Slovacek, and in 1986, I was cast as the magical Mr. Mistopheles in a brand new national touring company of Cats, which came to be known as CATS3. You know, when I think about the kiddie play, as we called it back in the day, I remember that in Act 2, the Jellicle tribe had to call on me to conjure up our leader who'd been whisked away amid chaos created by a certain orange cat. Fortunately today, we don't need me to flex my magical muscle to conjure up a new leader because we have her, and her name is Kamala Harris. And one of the things that I always focus on when it comes to presidential elections, as opposed to one issue, policy, this, that, the other thing, is I always look to the future of the Supreme Court. Because as opposed to a presidential term that can take 4 years, maybe they'll have 8, an appointment to the Supreme Court lasts a lifetime. As we saw with Donald Trump, he appointed 3 very conservative justices, and their impact on the High Court has already been felt. Hello, Roe v. Wade, which for many, many years was considered settled law. But even as they overturned Roe v. Wade, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas made a point in his concurring opinion to note, oh, and we should look at some other very important rulings that we've made along these lines and maybe reconsider them. And they're just waiting for a case to come before them, like a case that might threaten the Obergefell ruling, which brought us same-sex marriage and made it the law of the land. So at the end of the day, what I always focus on is, who do we want to make the next appointment to the Supreme Court? Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas are both in their mid-70s and could retire in the next 4 years. Do you want Donald Trump to nominate another Supreme Court justice? Or do we want Kamala Harris to nominate a Supreme Court justice? Now, this is the part where I remind you that somewhere on the screen, there's a QR code. And if you scan that, you can make a donation to the Kamala Harris campaign. 100% of the proceeds go directly to the campaign. There's no middleman. So I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for voting. And I'll see you on Election Day.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sidney James Harcourt, aka the Rum Tum Tugger from Cats, the Jellicle Bull, darling. And I've got a lot of issues on my mind as we head into this election. Protecting gay marriage, protecting women's health, protecting voting rights, the environment, civil rights, gun control, ending our involvement in foreign wars, ending the filibuster in the Senate. But there's really one thing above all that I think is most important, and that is protecting democracy. And I know we've heard that a lot, but it's oh so serious. The other side has told us that on day one, it's going to be a dictatorship. And I believe them, and you should too. Project 2025 lays it all out. So for me, it's Kamala, because I already know, as a former prosecutor, she respects the rule of law and our democratic institutions. There's nothing more important right now than that. We can't affect the changes that we want to see in this country without being able to cast our vote and use our elected representatives to make those changes. We can't expect that we'll be able to protest in a dictatorship without fear of retribution or going to jail. And we don't want to live that way. So for me, that's number one. And it's not just because I was in Hamilton. I believe in democracy because I'm an American, and that's what it comes down to. Between now and November, we're not going to be able to make the changes that we want to see on all of our individual pet issues. Do you see what I did there? But what we can't allow to happen is for these things to divide us or to suppress us and make us not use our vote, because the race is so close. It's teetering on the edge of an abyss. And get your friends, get your family members, talk to them, tell them how important it is for us to vote in this election cycle and keep this experiment in American democracy alive.
Hi, I'm Jen Cody, and I played Rumple Teaser in both the CATS National 4 tour and on Broadway. What scares me the most about the upcoming election? I'm scared that at any moment our civil rights and our human rights could be taken away. That all that we've fought for and all the progress that we've made will be gone in an instant. It keeps me up at night. All the work that we've done, no matter how loud we are or how much we protest, that it might not matter. That's scary. So vote, vote, vote like the world depended on it, because I think it does.
Hello, I'm Adrea Gibbs. I had the privilege of playing Tantamile in the Los Angeles Company of Cats, Bomb Ballerina in National 3, and reprising the role of Bomb Ballerina in Hamburg, Germany. And today I'd like to take the opportunity to speak with you just a little bit about healthcare. I had the opportunity to learn a lot more about our healthcare system while I assisted my mom in navigating through the complexities and irritations and frustrations and disappointments of our current system as she was trying to find herself some Medicare. Sadly, my mom passed away September 9th. And I think it's important to try and share just a little bit of her story. She had a stroke several years ago that landed her in a rehabilitation facility that was anything but. And she was continually denied both physical and occupational therapy, in spite of having script from her doctors, in spite of her advocacy and my advocacy, by a Medicare administrator that never once spoke with my mother directly, never talked to her doctors, never returned a phone call, simply made the decision to deny her the opportunity to recover and certainly better her quality of life. The sad thing is that I know my mom's situation is not her own. I know this is something that a lot of people are going through, and it shouldn't be that way. Not in this country. We need to have good health care. It needs to be accessible, it needs to be available, and it needs to be simple to understand and navigate through. So I'm asking you, as you consider casting your vote, that healthcare be one of those things that comes to mind. Vote your conscience. Vote for Harris Walz. That's what I'm going to do, and I hope you'll join me. And I hope perhaps you'll think of my mom, who painted this beautiful cardinal 8 days before she passed away. I think as a reminder that we all have a chance to soar.
Please use the QR code to donate directly to the Harris Walz campaign. I'd really appreciate it, and so would my friends over here.
freedom. We choose joy.